Okay, so Delroy here from Jet Wash Drives. Just thought I'd give you newcomers an introduction to your tips. Firstly, up here you have your black tip. This is used to spray detergents and other cleaning fluids. It's also good to use this at the beginning of your clean just to rinse down the area, just get it saturated, ready for the wash. I personally also use this for rinsing down at the end. It's not too powerful, so you don't end up spraying all the muck all over the place, but it just gives you a nice fan to push the dirt into the drains and yeah, just clean up the areas and stuff. So yeah, pretty good little tip. The next tip that you would use would be your white tip. Your white tip is good for windows. See, I've got mine on my gun here, so it's on a separate gun. I use this for spraying windows down. It doesn't create too much pressure, but it's got enough pressure behind it to get rid of some of the dirt and so on. It's good for screens, and it's also good for vehicles like cars and stuff like that. So that's a pretty good one. To be honest, don't really use that one very much, but it gets a little use from time to time, but don't use it very often. The next one that I use fairly regular, or quite a lot actually, would be my green tip. This is a flushing nozzle used for painted surfaces, wood, metal, furniture, and it's typically one of your most used nozzles. It's got a 25 degree on there, and it's good for sort of getting rid of good built-in dirt, good for decking. Just remember to keep a nice gentle lift off when you're doing decking, and don't keep on pulling the trigger. But yeah, really good for that. Then you got your yellow nozzle. Your yellow nozzle is a 45 degree. Use it at a 45 degree, so it's a 15 degree. Best used at about a 45 degree angle to strip stains away from hard surfaces such as brick and concrete. This is really good. You do have to be careful with this one on some types of stone though. I have used it in the past on some really light stone, even sandstone, and from time to time it can dig in and create marks, so you want to be careful with it. Yeah, so don't go too close with the old lance. Then at the end here, what we've got is your red tip. This delivers a concentrated stream. It's for stubborn stains on concrete and other hard surfaces. However, you do have to be very careful when using this, because it is basically just a single stream, very concentrated. It's a 0 degree and it's just in one spot. I've only ever used it once or twice on paved slabs to get rid of chewing gum and stuff like that, but generally it doesn't really get used. You can kind of see the usage. If you look at that one, it's used a bit. That one's pretty beat up. That one's relatively beat up, but the red one is still looking pretty new, so it doesn't really get used that much. Yep. Then the other one that you want to be looking at would be your turbo nozzle. Now the turbo nozzle pretty much lives on my lance. So down here you got your turbo nozzle. This is a 0 degree nozzle, and basically it will spin on the inside, spins round, and it gives you a nice sort of circular motion. Very good for getting rid of dirt, very good for getting rid of weeds. Has a nice spread to it, but again, because it is a 0 nozzle, you can basically create a bit of damage on softer surfaces, so you do have to be careful. Okay, so don't go too hard, too close. And also, when you're using any of these nozzles, another thing to bear in mind is when you first get your machine, what you're going to be doing is you're going to start it up and you're going to run pretty much fully open. Okay, so you're going to run pretty much fully open on max. Don't be afraid to slow it down, slow your RPMs down, so you're actually working with a little bit less pressure. Yeah, and you can also, you can speed it up. You'll save a bit of petrol, make a little bit less noise, and so on. So it's yeah, just keep that in mind. The other thing that you want to do as well is don't be afraid to give this a twist here, so you can see we can add or take away pressure. I usually start off with it pretty low, and then I try to use just enough pressure to get rid of the dirt that I need and nothing more. Saving petrol. Does take a bit longer in some instances, but also you're less likely to cause damage. So we're going to take a look at the black nozzle first. It's got a nice wide fan. There wet down nice and easy. Very good for chemicals, this one. Yeah, and also for fanning away the dirt. Okay, let's take a look. At the white one. The white one in there next. Compare it. That's the white one. So now let's have a look at the green. Make sure they're nice and tight. A bit more distance. Let's take a look at what's next. Take a look at the yellow next. That was the green. The yellow one. Make sure it's nice and tight. You won't check they're in tight, sometimes they fly out. Okay, and now let's try the red one. The red one takes. Very narrow jet. See the down at the street a little bit. Be careful with it. Very narrow street. And then we'll switch over to the turbo nozzle. Your nozzles, that was fine.